Mangwanani Malelepo Vukenjami, Class Verde Africa. Welcome to Africa Good Morning, the news and current affairs show that remains your portal into Africa's most potent stories. It is the 6th of July and we are expecting to be joined by Mr. Mike Sichula, who is in Lusaka ready to deliver the Zambia Report. But prior to that, these are some of the stories we're looking at from broader Africa. United Nations warns DRC Ebola outbreak could cost Africa $3.6 billion and 300,000 jobs. South African minister condemns Jacob Zuma over meeting with AGM Gupta in India. Seychelles tourism slows as visitor arrivals and cruise numbers fall. And Cape Verde exits the World Cup with pride. Just as unbeaten Morocco emerge as serious World Cup title contenders. DSTV285 GOTV 25 oneup2.com, Network Media Hub and NTVAFRIKA.MY.NA. That is where you can always watch us. My name is Ashwin Berry. Top stories shortly.
Namibia is a land of movement, with waves that never stop reaching forward. Here, adventure is not something we search for. It is something we are born into. In every corner of this country, creativity rises, from artists, from athletes, from dreamers. And when the world comes to explore Namibia, they discover something extraordinary. Because when sport moves people, creativity moves ideas, and tourism moves the world toward us. Something powerful happens. A platform where movement meets imagination, where industries connect, where opportunity grows, where Namibia's next chapter begins. Welcome to the Creative Sport Tourism Expo. Exhibit, partner, experience. Creative sport tourism.
The Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo could inflict economic losses of up to $3.6 billion across Africa and place more than 300,000 jobs at risk, according to Damien Mama, UN Development Program Resident Representative and Actor Humanitarian Coordinator for the DRC. Speaking during a briefing in Geneva, Mama said neighboring countries could also face significant economic consequences. He explained that border restrictions, transport delays, declining consumer confidence, and disruptions to informal markets could reduce the continent's GDP by $2.37 billion, even if transmission remains largely contained. Mama also cited a UNDP socioeconomic assessment indicating that the outbreak could push nearly 1 million additional people into poverty in the DRC, where 6 out of every 10 people already live below the poverty line. The current Ebola outbreak began on May 15 in eastern DRC and Uganda and has spread across 3 Congolese provinces. Former South African President Jacob Zuma has come under criticism after meeting AGM Gupta in an Indian temple, with Cabinet Minister Khumbudzo Ntshavheni saying the encounter showed a disregard for South Africans affected by the Gupta scandal. The photograph of Zuma and AGM Gupta was shared by Indian media around a decade ago. The Gupta brothers were accused of benefiting from close ties to Zuma and influencing South African policy, allegations both parties denied. The family left South Africa in 2018 after a judicial commission began investigating state capture. Gupta. South African authorities cancelled AJ Gupta's arrest warrant the following year, while Atu and Rajesh Gupta later remained in the United Arab Emirates after a court declined South Africa's extradition request in 2023. Chaveni also criticized South Africa's High Commissioner to India, Anil Sokal, for accompanying Zuma. International Relations Minister Ronald Lamola announced an investigation into the meeting, saying it appeared Zuma was pursuing a parallel foreign policy. Here is Jacob Zuma from India.
I'm very happy that I visited this great country at the right time. I was coming to a brother and friend of mine that was in South Africa for a long time because of some people in South Africa who were not happy with what they were doing in the country, that I was working with him as well. They decided to say he must leave the country. And that was a very unfortunate thing. And he went away, and they followed him, even at the wrong places. I haven't had time to meet with him, so I decided that I should come. I feel very good, and fortunately he told me that there is a leader who is a man of God. I'm sure I may be saying a wrong thing, but you understand what I mean. Who is a big friend of him, who is working with him. I had been part of the leading in our country, leading the country at some point, but they put me aside and I remained there. And I realized that they were messing up the country. They were not taking the country forward. I decided to take a decision to retake the country forward. And I think, given the fact that I'm now in a country talking to the people to say they must vote for me so that I will make the country to be what we wanted to be. And indeed, people came in big numbers. So my friend said he would love me to visit this wonderful place. I have been in the big city, but I haven't been on this part where he comes from. And I was very happy that I will have that opportunity, particularly because I'm contesting. And he...
All right, the man in his own words. This is still Africa Good Morning, and we still have plenty of stories stemming from Africa. But right now, we're going to be trying to cross over to Zambia to talk to Mr. Mike Sichula, who will be delivering the Zambia Report right after the weather. As promised, it's time for us to be joined by Mr. Mike Sichula, who is in Zambia. Mr. Sichula, Buribanji.
Muribanji, Africa, good morning to our dear viewers.
Africa, good morning indeed. Now, Mike, we know that the Zambian general election is expected to be on the 13th of August. And right now, the People's Alliance for Change, one of the opposition alliances, is already fracturing.
Yes, quite a disappointing development. So the background to this story is that the organized People's Party partnered with the People's Alliance for Change. So the leader of the organized People's Party spoke with the leader of the People's Party Change on the left there, Mr. Anford Banda, who became the running mate to Mr. Engineer Brian Mushimba on your right. So in the picture there. So now what happened is that after they were validly nominated by the Electoral Commission of Zambia, Mr. Anford Banda decided to withdraw as the running mate to Dr. Mushimba in the picture there. So in the Zambian, according to the Zambian constitution, a candidate is supposed to be accompanied by a running mate. So when the withdrawal of Dr. Banda, a number of people were asking as to what will happen. So now what will happen is that nothing will happen. The elections are going to go on in the absence of Mr. Banda. Mr. Banda cited issues of lack of consultation and lack of involvement in terms of how the pact should be working. So this has created a situation where Mr. Mushimba now is going to be campaigning alone without the running mate, because this is a constitutional requirement in Zambia that the running mate withdraws after they have been nominated and accepted by the Electoral Commission of Zambia. There is no decision that can be taken to bar the presidential candidate who has remained. The only issue that can create a situation where the entire election is stopped is if one of the presidential candidates dies. But as we speak now, all the 14 presidential candidates have been going about their campaigns, but there's only one candidate again, the presidential candidate, who is not campaigning because he has been incarcerated. This is Xavier Chungu of the Liberal Democratic Party. He has been incarcerated on seditious practices, and he is not actually campaigning. So as we speak, there are only 13 presidential candidates that are campaigning, excluding of him, and the Electoral Commission of Zambia has gone ahead to print ballot papers in Dubai, even in his absence, but still more, his name is going to appear on the ballot paper. The same as Mr. Banda, the presidential candidate who was, Mr. Banda was the running mate, is going to appear on the ballot box, even if his running mate has withdrawn from the race.
All right, Mike, as we stay with the theme of elections, the Electoral Commission of Zambia says presidential ballot printing is on schedule in Dubai.
Yes, the printing of the ballot papers is ongoing in Dubai. And according to information that has been availed to the nation by the Electoral Commission of Zambia and the printer themselves, they are expecting that the printing of presidential ballot papers can be concluded this week. And there was just something that raised the controversy between some observers who have accompanied the Electoral Commission of Zambia to print the ballot papers. They raised the concern when the Electoral Commission of Zambia told the nation that they were going to print extra ballot papers. You know, the register of Zambia has got 8.7 million voters, but the Electoral Commission of Zambia will go ahead to print about close to, they'll print more in terms close to about, I think, 9 million ballot papers. So the explanation by the Electoral Commission of Zambia is that some of the ballot, why the extra ballots are being printed is because there could be damages or spoiled ballot papers by someone. Then these ballots can be replaced with the backup ballot papers. So this matter has been cleared, and all the electoral players are happy with it. And precedence has said that even in the previous elections, extra ballot papers have always been printed as a matter of an insurance or a cushion in case something happens and they don't need to go back to the printer in Dubai. They can easily fall back on those ballot papers, extra ballot papers, so that the election is not disturbed with any unforeseen circumstances.
All right, Mike, let's talk nature and conservation. Zambia is to return cheetahs to Luangwa Valley after 3 decades.
Yes, quite an interesting story, because you usually associate wildlife with many wildlife animals to be there, but this has not been the case for the Luangwa National Park, where the cheetah has been missing for nearly 3 decades. So according to the Department of National Parks and Wildlife, the program to restock the cheetah into the Luangwa National Park will begin with the relocation of 6 cheetahs, which are coming from a protected management area, game management reserve in South Africa. So this comes barely about 3 decades of this planning. The almost 10 years the Department of Wildlife has been planning with the South African nationals and other experts in the wildlife sector to see to it that the relocation of 6 cheetahs in the Luangwa National Park, it does not disturb the ecosystem. So this is going to be carried out because they have done all the planning and everything that is needed, and there are also other international partners that are working with the Department of National Park to ensure that this program is a success. So he did say that the wildlife director, Richard Mwamba, said the return marks an important step in restoring ecosystem. That is one of the keywords that he said. And it is likely that the cheetahs are also going to add flavor and to tourists who will be visiting the Luangwa National Park. So it's something that has excited the tourism sector and players in the tourism industry.
Right, Mike, as we wrap up your section in the show, what's the latest with regards to the Copper Princesses?
Well, the Copper Princesses managed to secure a 2-1 victory over Ethiopia in the first leg of the FIFA Under-17 World Cup qualifier. So the match was played on Saturday at the Levi Mwanawasa Stadium. The Copper Queens did manage to record a 2-1 victory. But going into the second leg in Addis Ababa, the Copper Queens now will need a draw, or they should win in order for them to book their 3rd ticket to the World Cup. So according to Coach Carol Kanyemba, she was happy with the outcome to say we have not lost at home, even if we have not scored more goals. But the good part is that we have not lost. So going into Addis Ababa, she's urging the team to ensure that she's promising the fans that the outcome is something that they will expect, because if she manages to secure this World Cup slot, it will be the 3rd time that Coach Carol Kanyemba has managed to push the Copper Princesses to the World Cup stage, something that she's looking forward, but she's not underplaying the strength of the Ethiopians, because she's saying if they can manage to hold not to concede a lot of goals in Lusaka, in Ndola, probably when they return to Addis Ababa, they can be a hard nut to crack. But she's very hopeful that the Copper Princesses are going to manage to secure their 3rd World Cup appearance.
All right. We certainly wish them more and more success. Thank you very much for joining us on Africa Good Morning, Mike.
Thank you very much, Africa. Good morning to our guests.
Now we carry on with the news. Seychelles is experiencing a slowdown in tourism after record economic growth in 2025, with new figures showing fewer international visitors and a significant decline in cruise tourism. According to the Seychelles National Bureau of Statistics, the country welcomed 27,201 visitors during May 2026, down 3.4% from the same month a year earlier. Between January and May, stopover arrivals fell 11.7% to 145,858 compared with 165,155 during the corresponding period in 2025. The International Monetary Fund recently warned that weaker tourism demand and travel disruptions linked to the Middle East would slow economic growth from an estimated 5.1% in 2025 to 1.5% in 2026. Cruise tourism recorded the sharpest decline, with only 1,767 day visitors arriving during May, down 43.8% from the previous year. Europe remains the country's largest tourism market. Now we cap off with sport, and we are talking about African pride at the FIFA World Cup. Cape Verde's first FIFA World Cup campaign ended after a dramatic 3-2 extra time defeat against defending champions Argentina in the round of 32 in Miami. Lionel Messi opened the scoring before Leroy Duarte equalized after half-time. Lisandro Martinez restored Argentina's advantage early in extra time, but Sidney Lopez Cabral leveled again with a superb strike. The decisive moment arrived in the 111th minute when Dine Borges turned Messi's corner into his own net, ending Cape Verde's hopes. Throughout the match, Cape Verde twice came from behind and pushed Argentina close to a penalty shootout. Goalkeeper Vozinha produced several important saves, including one against Messi, while the Blue Sharks defended with discipline and belief throughout the contest. Argentina progressed to face Egypt in the round of 16, while Cape Verde exited after an unbeaten group stage featuring Spain, Uruguay, and Saudi Arabia. Despite elimination, Cape Verde completed a memorable debut campaign by taking the defending champions to extra time and demonstrating they could compete against elite opposition on football's biggest stage. Now, Morocco advanced to the World Cup quarter-finals after defeating Canada 3-0, extending their unbeaten run across all competitions to 34 matches. The Atlas Lions reached the last 8 despite recording only 5 shots during the match, the fewest by a winning team in a World Cup knockout fixture on record. Canada created early opportunities before Morocco settled and took control. Morocco manager Mohamed Ouabi said his team remained committed to its identity despite difficult moments during the match. Morocco have now won 4 World Cup knockout matches, matching the combined total achieved by all other African nations. The unbeaten sequence includes the 2026 Africa Cup of Nations final against Senegal, although that result is being challenged in court. Morocco previously drew with Brazil before defeating Scotland, Haiti, and the Netherlands and Canada during the tournament. Ouabi credited King Mohammed's long-term investment in Moroccan football, including an academy opened in 2009 and a training complex inaugurated in 2019. Morocco will now continue their campaign, believing they are genuine contenders to win the FIFA World Cup title. And Africa is behind them. DSTV285 GOTV 285 Network Media Hub, and NTVAFRIKA.MY.NA. That is where you can always watch Africa Good Morning. Tomorrow is Tuesday, which means Talent Gore joins us to deliver the Zimbabwe Report. And as always, we remain your portal into Africa's most potent stories. From me and the Africa Good Morning team, Swela Jakananga.